Personal effects, number 4, unknown white male. Well, he wasn't unknown to me. This was my brother Stevie, and this is what the coroner gave me when I went to the morgue to identify him, and I gave him his name, his rightful name. It's tragic. I had just found my brother. He had been missing for over 12 years, presumed homeless, off the grid, and I found him through a miraculous chain of events on the other side of the United States. I was in California, he was in Massachusetts, and I was able to connect with him. And one of the last things that he had told me was that he was ready to get off of the streets. He wanted recovery, he wanted life, he wanted to break the cycles, and he asked me for my help. I got my plane ticket lined up and made phone calls, tried to find what he needed to make this transition to just something that I could pull together stat. And it wasn't a shelter bed for 1 or 2 nights. It's not that. I couldn't find what he needed. I got on that airplane only to find that he had died the night before, just after I had found him. And then I had to find him again because he was listed as an unknown white male in the system. I had to go searching again. There's $4 in this bag. That's all he had to his name. He lived on the streets. Where did he get this money? I bet you know. Well, I learned that my brother used to get up every day and panhandle long enough to make $11.50. And that's what it cost to buy the cheapest bottle of vodka. He usually got it by noon every day, and then the cycles would continue. Well, he didn't get it this day. You know, we've got to be careful that when we help people, we're not hurting them. We never want to enable a destructive habit or make it more comfortable to remain outside in inclement circumstances. My brother lived in the snow in Massachusetts. He was a full-time homeless person. He lived in a shanty behind a liquor store, which was very convenient for him for his daily routine when you think about it. And then he lived under an abandoned tractor-trailer truck with cinder block bed stands and donated blankets. We've got to make sure that our helping does not hurt, and we're not part of perpetuating that cycle. And I know I've been that person unknowingly. I'm not coming down on anyone. But what I've learned since this whole thing rolled out with my brother is that I will never do that again. I won't be part of that destructive cycle. I care too much. I care too much. What happened thereafter, it's just like a whirlwind. I was catapulted. I felt passionate about digging in and trying to do something to solve this problem of so-called homelessness. After all, you know, I had a career in housing finance, and I brought that lens into this whole situation. And I decided to walk away from my job and jump headfirst into homeless outreach in homeless camps in Silicon Valley. I've known thousands of homeless people, and they've known me, and I earned their trust. It has been an amazing journey to be able to get in the muck and on the front lines and actually try to help people, try to save lives. You know what? I couldn't save my brother, but I most certainly could do something to try to save somebody else's brother and sister, mother, father, loved ones. And that's exactly what I did. One of the most valuable lessons that I learned is that homelessness really has nothing to do with homes. It has to do with addiction. And it's like the big pink elephant that people don't want to admit or talk about, especially in local government. The current model right now in our country to deal with this problem is it's missing the mark by a long shot. And what's happening is people are dying. People are dying. They're dying. Loved ones, like my brother, are falling to the wayside and not getting the help that they really need. And all of these billions of dollars are, flowing down from a federal level under the Housing First initiative, under that model, which really doesn't have anything to do with addiction recovery or jobs or really reintegration. It's here's the keys to your free subsidized permanent housing. And we're here. It's not mandated. We're not going to ask any questions. You do your thing. We just know that you're not going to be living on the streets. But the reality is that that system is being taken advantage of and abused, and it's not working. Evidence in support of that, simply look at all the money that's being spent, and then go on ChatGPT. I challenge you right now and ask Chat what the housing counts are for the last 10 years. I did this for 5 major cities, and of course, all of them are going up significantly. So if history repeats itself, which we know it will, unless something radical changes, this problem is only going to get worse, and more taxpayers' dollars are being wasted and misused, in my opinion, for the most part, trying to fix this in a way that's not effective. It's time to step up and deal with the big pink elephant in the room, and it's called addiction. It's not a homelessness problem. Predominantly, that's what's out there. And how do I know that? Who am I, right? Well, it's because I've been in homeless camps for years doing outreach, and I've learned so much by doing this. And I can speak from an educated position. I know for a fact I've met people that had the keys to their subsidized housing units in their pockets, living in homeless camps, doing drugs, selling drugs, and get this, renting out their permanent housing units to other people to fuel their drug addiction or their alcohol addiction. So it's being taken advantage of, and the programs, they're not working together. And so the members are able to sign up for multiple programs. I've seen it. I'm a witness to this. It's a travesty. And meanwhile, more and more money flows down. So the Housing First model, you should Google that, learn about that. Every time a census is done for the homeless, they do a head count, if you will. They go out into the streets, into the homeless camps, and you don't even really have to have identification. And you get on these lists, and they ask a few questions, may or may not give your rightful name, and then you're counted. You would be counted on that list. Well, I think now with the big influx of the undocumented right now, they are going to be on those lists, and that increases the funding when they go to the federal government and they ask for their funding for the homeless initiatives, the Housing First program and others. They get to use that census data, and for every head count on that data report, they get X amount of funding. And so that's what I've seen. That's what's going to happen in the future. That's what has happened. And I'm here with this video. This is not a rant and a rave. This is about bringing a solution to this problem, one that actually works and will save billions of dollars for the taxpayers, as well as take care of and help 7 times more people that are in need. This is an innovative program that I've come up with out of necessity working in the homeless camps. So this is how it goes. It's a level up program. One of the floors even looks like an E. I have full-scale architectural drawings. I have a construction estimate. I have a pro forma budget. I have programs. It levels up. So bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Each level has different floor plans, and it's an incentivized journey. So there's milestones, there's programs for each level. As they enter into this building, they actually work their way literally up through the floors of the building, and it's an incentivized journey, no enabling allowed, with milestones that must be met in order to reach the next level. So here's the gold, and there's the floor plan for the gold as an example. So the building itself plays a role in helping to reintegrate people back into society. Each level is strategically geared to help them at that point in their journey. It's important to understand that the slide down to addiction and homelessness did not happen in a vacuum. It didn't happen right away. It was steps and phases. Well, the journey out of the pit and the journey to freedom must also go through phases, not too much and not too little at each phase. It's strategically geared to help them make that journey out and up and to elevate them back into society and integrate them back in and restore and save lives. I know this will work based upon my experience. I have interviewed homeless people and asked them about this, if they would be willing to enter into programs like this, and they all said yes. I know that if my brother were alive today and these e-centers were available to him, he would be here. He would have a restored life. The reason I'm doing this video is I'm hoping that somehow, some way, a miracle could take place and that this video would reach President Donald Trump's team and they would invite me to come bring my architectural drawings, all of my program information, and other supporting data to give a formal presentation, and of course bring my passion and my experience to the table to help them actually solve this problem. You know, my brother he's not here anymore. He was a wonderful, wonderful man. Even with his addictions and everything, he was still kind and honest and sweet-natured. He had a rough upbringing, and he medicated with alcohol and fell into homelessness. It's a tragedy that, you know, so many people have gone through, and fell into addiction, and then he became in bondage to it. How many of you have ever gone through something that was really difficult in life and you wanted to run away? Most of us are only a few paychecks away from living under a bridge or under a tractor trailer truck like my brother. I can't bring him back, but don't let his death go in vain. Let it stand for something. I need your help. Please spread this video far and wide throughout your sphere of influence and push this up the chain, bubble this up so, like I said, it could somehow, some way end up with President Donald Trump and his team. So thank you so much for watching, and remember, E-centers, the E does not stand for enabling. It stands for elevate, and it also stands for excellence.